The way the IP is so big for us is like, example, so he's talking about hardware switchers. I don't know how many of you guys deal with hardware switchers versus TriCasters, but if you're in a hardware switcher world, like it's getting other sources other than cameras into that versus like the 1 or 2 HDMI inputs you have is impossible. So it's like, okay, cool, I got these HDMI things I need to get into my broadcast, and my producers are doing this on a regular basis now, like whether it be graphics or YouTube videos that they want to play. Like we just started bowling, and one of the coolest things I've seen the bowling guys do, these guys are producing, we're doing 27 lanes of bowling, right? And all 27 lanes are live. That's been our model for a long time. We don't just do the big show, we also, every bowling lane is live with the camera. It looks stupid probably, but like you can watch anybody at the same time. But so while all those 27 lanes are live, we're pulling all those 27 signals back into one switcher, whether it's vMix, whether it's a TriCaster, whether it's a hardware-based switcher, right? But you've got to use something to bring that stuff back in. So I've got all these cameras out there, and they're all NDI enabled. Whether the cameras are NDI enabled or the computers are NDI enabled, or we're just using Sparks, the NDI Sparks. We love the Sparks. We bought a ton of the Sparks. You know what I'm talking about, the HX Sparks that New Tech came out with? Look it up. If you haven't seen those, look those up. That's the magic box right now, in my opinion, because they're so cheap. But so taking the HDMI signal out into a Spark, so it's an HDMI to Ethernet converter, Ethernet all the way back to this one hub, all these Ethernet connections, and then into one computer. And in that one computer, I'm seeing all 27 signals. And then I've got a commentator who's able to switch between those 27 signals. He knows the sport, he knows what he's talking about, right? And he's watching these guys, and he's talking about bowling as he's switching between all 27 sports. But what if he can't do, well, I shouldn't get into that. But my point is, IP broadcast has enabled us to do a scenario like that where I'm getting off topic now.
Not really. No, you're good.
Where he's commentating on 27 things. It's similar to like what you would do in gaming. In gaming, you've got so many. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these gaming conferences, but there's so many guys at these things that are. It's all over the place, and you got to bring all that back to one thing where someone can talk about all that together. NDI enables us to do that. But then one of the cool things they'll do is like, let's say Joe so-and-so is up there and he's getting ready to bowl, and like, oh man, I've got a great clip of him on our YouTube page. Let me pull up YouTube on this computer. I'm gonna make it full screen. I'm gonna NDI it into my TriCaster, and boom, there's this replay I have now that I'm rolling in real time off of just YouTube, which is awesome. Or if I want to show something that's currently live on the site from a different event we're doing, maybe there's another bowling tournament happening over in a different state, and like, oh man, let's do a little highlight on that. So he'll pull it up on his laptop, he'll make it full screen, pull that into the TriCaster, and he'll talk about it for a second without the audio. Like that's the kind of stuff that we're able to do with NDI that's made our shows just 1,000 times better.